So a couple notes. The square and the rectangle papers will look different when they're folded using the different designs. So some of the diagrams in the instructions, they might not fit completely to what your paper looks like if you're using a square paper versus a rectangular paper. So a little thing about the paper airplanes is kind of like origami. So in our instructions, we have similar lines that you might see in origami instructions, like the dotted line. The dotted line means fold here. And then when you see an arrow, kind of like a curved arrow, that means to fold from where that arrow starts to where the arrow ends. And like in origami or any paper airplane kit, you want to try and line up, when you're making your folds, you want to try and line up your paper as exact as you can, and then create a really nice crease in order for that paper to hold the shape that you want it to. All right, so we'll get to our special papers in a little bit, but let's go ahead and start with the traditional. Now the traditional we're going to use, just so everyone can see, we're going to use one of these large pieces of paper, large rectangular pieces of paper. So we'll just put everything else to the side. And we'll go with this really cool kind of green and blue design to start with. So what we want to do is match up our paper to look like each diagram in the instructions. So first we're going to make our paper go sideways just like that, just like in the instructions here. So it says with the solid side facing up, so this is the solid side facing up, fold the paper in half lengthwise and then open it back up. So we're folding it, and like I mentioned, we want to keep our edge of our paper and our corners of our paper nice and lined up, and then make that nice crisp fold just like that. And then we're gonna open it back up. So we've just created our first crease. The next thing we're gonna do is fold the corners to the center line. So just like we said, we're going to kind of hold our paper. So this crease that we just made is our center line. And we're gonna just fold like that, and then do the same thing for this corner up here. So hold it just like that, and fold it just like that. All right, the next thing, step 3, fold the side corners, these are the side corners, to the center line. So we're going to fold the side corner to the center line, just like that. And we're trying to make a nice tip on our airplane. And then you want to meet this one right where that one is, just like that. Now again, as I mentioned earlier, this is being recorded, so if I'm going a little bit quick, you can always watch it again and just pause it at the step that you need to slow down on. All right, so we're already on step 4, and it says to just fold the plane in half. So we just fold it in half. I'm going to use the back of my nail to really crease that center crease, just like that. Now, number 5, imagine a dotted line that goes right along the edge of the bottom of this airplane. And then we're going to fold that wing down. So we want to try and make it straight. just like this. And you can kind of line up your paper back here to make it kind of straight. All right, so there's our fold. And that fold is actually a little bit off, but it should be okay. Now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to kind of just match that fold to the fold we just did. And whoop, voila. Okay, we're coming to the last few steps. Number 6, flip and repeat the same fold on this side and then fold the tips of the wings up. So here's the tip of the wing. We're just going to fold it up like that. Just like that. I'm going to flip it over and do the same on this side. Just like that. Okay, so now you can kind of unfold things a little bit like this. And here's our overhead view of our airplane. Let's see if I can. The paper airplane that we're going to be doing now is called the standard plane. So, our standard plane, like I mentioned, we want to just set our paper up so it matches the pictures in our diagrams. All right, so with the design side facing up, fold the paper in half lengthwise. So we're just gonna match up our edges, match up our corners, and make that nice crisp fold. Number 2, fold the corner to the center fold. So it shows this corner up here being folded to the center fold. So we're going to do that. Just like that. I'll hold it up so you can see. This is what our fold looks like. All right, we're going to flip it over. Step number 3, flip it over and do the same thing on this side. There we go. Number 4, fold the side corner to the center fold. And you can see there's a dotted line here. So we want to fold it so the angle doesn't go all the way to the corner. It stops short a little bit. You'll see what I mean. So we're going to bring this down to the center fold. And in doing that, the end of our fold doesn't go all the way to the corner. It stops short. All right, we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on this side. So we're going to bring this right down to the center fold. Just like that. And make a nice, crisp crease. Okay, we're almost there, guys. All right, number 6, fold the long edge down to the center fold. So this is the long edge. We're going to fold it down to the center fold. So grabbing the whole edge, going to put it down just like this. And again, on the other side. This whole long edge I'm going to bring down so it meets the center fold. Just kind of line it up. Make sure it's nice and lined up. Cool. Okay, let's open it up and see what it looks like. Bring the wings up. Ta-da! That was so easy. I hope you guys found it easy too. So this one is really cool looking, especially with this cool circuit board design. And all right, moving right along, we have another airplane called the Arrow. So the Arrow, let's see, maybe we'll try our square paper for the Arrow. Let's see, okay, how about this cool orange paper? This orange paper has little cubes, kind of like printed all over it. So we're going to use our square paper for the Arrow. Now, as I mentioned in the early part of the instructions, if you're going to use a square piece of paper, it's not going to resemble the pictures in the instructions exactly. So our plane will probably look different than the plane at the end of these instructions, but we'll see. All right, so with the solid side facing up, fold the paper in half lengthwise and then open it back up. All right, next, fold the corners to the center line. So this is very similar to the airplane that we did first. All right, next, fold the side corners to the center line. So side corner to the center line, and the same on both sides. So already this airplane is looking a little bit different than what's in the instructions. So side corner to the center line. Just like that. All right, now fold it in half. And similar to the first airplane we folded, we're going to pretend there's a dotted line that goes all the way from the tip of the plane to the back of the plane. And we're going to fold it. Just like that. And of course, we want to do it on the other side too. How did that one? I think it held. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And here's our plane. Ta-da! This one looks really fast. We can't wait to fly it. Okay, so here's our Arrow. Now the difference between using our square paper and the rectangular paper, you can see in the instructions, the rectangle paper will give you a flat back. The square paper, you can see, has this angled back, which I think looks really cool. All right, so for our ace, with the solid side facing up, fold the paper in half lengthwise and then open it back up. All right. And then in the instructions, we actually twist the paper this way. All right, fold both corners to the center line, like we have in the past for some of our other designs. Here we go. And then fold the top down. So we're going to fold the top point down so there's still room at the bottom. So let's see. I think we need to fold it down just like that. Now fold the side points to the center line. In the instructions you can see we're folding the center points, or the side points to the center line, but we're leaving this little triangle of the tip of our paper. So we have to remember to fold it just enough so there's still a little bit of the point showing. So I'll hold that up. So I folded it just like this, so this little triangle is still showing. And we want to do the same for the other side. So it should match the instructions pretty well. So you can see here. Here's our little point right here. Now that point for number 5, we're going to fold upward. So folding that point up actually holds these two corners in place. So we folded it up like that. Now we're going to fold the plane in half. So we're going to fold it kind of like inside out, just like that. So it was like this, we're just going to fold it up like that. All right, now we're going to fold one side down. So we're going to imagine that dotted line goes through our paper. Just like that. And then flip it over and do the same over here. All right, so this is our ace, and our ace is a little bit, it's shorter than some of our other planes, but it flies really well too. So I can't wait for you guys to create these planes and see the difference in their flight patterns. So they all have a pretty unique style to them, and that definitely has something to do with how the plane will fly. Here we go. Okay, so we'll be doing our lion using this cool camouflage paper. Okay, so just like the other planes, we're starting with our paper solid side up, fold the paper in half, and then open it back up. So I hope we're all getting a lot of practice with this step, because most of our airplanes are using this step first. Okay, so we're opening it back up, and we flip our paper to match. And then we're going to do just like we did for the ace. We're going to take our top corners and fold them to the center line. So top corner to the center line. All right. And fold the side corners to the center line next. So our side corners, we'll take them right to the center line. And where you want to imagine your dotted line, just like in the instructions, imagine it going right down here, but not to the corner. Just like that. And just like that. Okay. Now we're going to fold the tip down past these folds here. We're going to take the tip and fold it all the way down here. So fold the top point down so there's still room at the bottom. Just like that. but we're not done folding the tip. Now we're going to take the tip and fold it upward, so it comes past this line, just like that. All right, so here's a little bit more of a close-up as to what we've got going on. So we folded our tip down, and then we're folding it back up like that. Next, we're going to flip and fold the plane in half. So flip it and fold the plane in half. So it should look like this. Here's half of our plane. All right, and if you guessed, it's time to fold the paper down to create the wings, then you're right. So just like in our instructions, just imagine a dotted line going right across the bottom here, and that's going to create your wings. So just like this. And flip it over, just like this. We want to try and create the wings to be about the same level on each side. So just like that. And then we'll bring our wings up. Ta-da! All right, so this will be the second time we're doing the traditional design, so hopefully my folds are a little bit better because I've already practiced once. All right, so with the solid side, and this one doesn't have a solid side. It has a side with the dragon face or the side with the underneath of the dragon. So we want the underneath of the dragon to be facing up. All right, and we want to note where the dragon head is because that will be the front of our plane. So let's arrange our paper so it will turn out to be correct. All right, so let's fold our paper in half and then we open it back up. Ooh, this looks cool already. All right, open it back up. Fold the corners to the center line. So both of these corners we're going to fold to the center line. Just like this. Now you can already see it's starting to create some type of cool design. All right, next fold the side corners to the center line. So these are the side corners, and here's our center line. So let's fold them to the center line. Oh, I can see our dragon wing. Just like that, here's our dragon wing. And we'll reveal our other dragon, the other dragon wing. Ta-da! All right. Next, we're going to fold it in half. Aha! Here's the head of our dragon. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to imagine a dotted line that goes right on the back of our dragon, right across his tail and right over his head. So I'll hold this up a little bit more so you can see. Our dotted line will start at the top of our dragon head, go across his back, down his tail, and right through the center of his tail. So that's where we're going to fold the paper down. just like this. And then we're going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. Ooh, cool. All right, so in these instructions, the next thing it says is to fold the tips of the wings up. But for my design for our butterfly and for our dragon, I don't think I want to do that, so you don't have to. So I'm just going to bring his wings up, and you can see our cool dragon. So just like the dragon, the butterfly and the rainbow and the spaceship will all come together just perfectly like this when you fold it. All right, so here's the ultra cool part. It's time to see how this launcher works. So first, what we have to do, and it's in the instructions here where it says launcher. We're going to set up our launcher so it looks the same as in the picture in the diagram. So with the printing facing up, fold it in half lengthwise. Now this, you'll notice, is made out of a cardstock instead of paper, so it's a little heavier duty. So you might have to really crease your cardstock so it stays. And it's going to pop up a little bit, and that's okay. All right, so the next thing is to fold the side down to the center fold. So we're going to fold it in half. There's actually 2 fold lines. We're going to fold it in half, just like this, and we're folding it down. The next fold line on this side, we're going to fold up, just like that. And if you really want to hold that fold, you can use like the back, like the handle of a pair of scissors, and just really crease it like that. All right, so kind of holding this together, let's flip it over and do the same thing on this side. So first things first, we fold it in half, just like that. And the next thing, fold it up, just like that. And then we're going to crease it nice and tight with our back of our scissors. So this is how it should look. Now you might be asking, what is this rubber band in here for? Well, the rubber band is actually what propels your airplane. So you kind of just pull, you holding the launcher together at the base. You're going to pull the rubber band over to the back. So this is where you're going to put the base of your airplane, right in here. So I'll show you with one of our little mini airplanes. So we're going to line up the back of the airplane right here, right down into the launcher. So when you pull these 2 parts of the launcher out, you're going to pull them out at the same time. It's going to, the rubber band's going to hit the bottom of the airplane and make it shoot forward. So when you're doing this, you don't want to point it at your brother or sister or your dog or someone else's dog or yourself at that. You want to point it like up in the air so it really takes off and so you don't hit anyone. So that's the point. All right, so I'm going to inch it up just a little bit, and ta-da! It just shoots the airplane right down into the desk.